If we want to edit this image over here, we simply have to click over here to edit the container. Then we have the layout settings over here, the styling settings over here, and the advanced settings over here. By going to layout, we see the container layout, flexbox or grid. We see the container width, full width or boxed. Over here, we see the width that is percentage over here, and that is occupy 46% of the screen of the viewport, like so. We can change this over here. Then we have the minimum height, like so. And over here we have other settings, but because we don't have any elements inside the container, we are not going to see any changes if we are playing with those, like so. By going to style over here, we have the background image over here. If we want to change the image, simply clicking over here and selecting a different image will do. Then we have the image resolution over here, the position of the image. We can play with those settings over here so the image will fit to our needs. The attachment, if we want the attachment to scroll with the page, or if we want it to be fixed. The repeat option, and the display size. Default auto cover means that it's going to cover the entire container. Contain means that the image is going to be visible entirely in the container. And then custom, which we can play over here. Now, if I'm going back to repeat over here and I'm saying repeat, we can see that the image repeats itself. Then we have some scrolling effects and some mouse effects. We can simply click over here in order to activate them. We have vertical scroll, we have direction over here, the speed over here, and how much of the viewport the effect will take place on. You will have to play with those in order to see what works for you. So we have the bottom and the top. Okay, then we have the horizontal scroll. Once again, we have some settings over here. You can simply play with them to see the effect. We have the transparency effect. We have the blur effect and a scale effect. By clicking on this icon over here, we are going back to default. And we also have the option to apply effects on desktop, tablet and mobile. Or if you want only on one of those devices, we can simply click over here on this X. If we want to add it again, we can simply click on this plus over here. And we have effects relative to viewport, what we are seeing on the screen, or to entire page. And we also have some mouse effects. By clicking over here, we can edit the effect. We have opposite or direct, and we have the speed. You can see it over here. Once again, by clicking on this icon over here, we are going to reset the customizations. By still staying over here to the background, if we don't want an image over here, we simply have to click over here on this trash bin. We can also create an image with AI by clicking over here and creating a prompt over here. We can also have a solid color from over here. We can have a gradient by clicking over here. We can have a video by clicking over here and adding the video link over here. Or we can have a slideshow if we want to, by clicking over here to add multiple images and create a new gallery. We can move the images like so to change the order, and then insert gallery. And over here we have some settings: infinite loop, how fast is going to change from one image to the other, the transition, how fast is going to take to make the transition, the background size, and the background position. And if we want lazy load or Ken Burns effect. Okay, let's go back to normal. Let's add an image again. Okay, Then we have background overlay over here. We can have a solid color or a different image over here. Let's add a solid color. And we can have the opacity over here. We can also have some CSS filter over here and a blend mode over here. Like so. We can also have a gradient. Like so. For the gradient, we have the location for each color. We have the angle of the gradient. We can also choose a radial gradient. And of course, we can choose the opacity. And we also have effects for hover. If we don't want any effect over here, we simply have to click once again on this icon over here. Then we have the option for a border. We have different options over here, like a solid border. Over here, we can choose the border width. If we are clicking over here on this link, we can customize the settings for each border for top, bottom, right, and left. Over here, we can choose the border color. And over here, we can choose the border radius. Once again, we can click over here to unlink the values so we could customize them manually. And we also have a box shadow. From over here, we can select the color of the shadow. Here is the color, same over here, and over here is the opacity. Then we have the distance of the shadow from the image, the blur, and the spread. And the position, outline, or inset. Once again, by clicking over here, we are going to reset the changes. So let's go to non-border. And we also have shape divider. We have different options for the top. We can play with those settings over here. And for the bottom as well. You can simply play with those settings over here to see what works for your needs and what doesn't. And we also have advanced settings where we have margins and paddings and so much more.